Nvidia might have just declared war, not only on Apple, but on OpenAI, on Google, and on the very idea of cloud computing. What if, in 2 years, the assistant you talk to every day did not live inside OpenAI's data centers anymore, but inside your laptop? That is the conversation nobody is having about RTX Spark yet, and that is the conversation I want to have with you. Welcome back to Shipped. Today we are not doing a tech review. We are doing something different. Computex 2026 is in full swing. Nvidia just announced the RTX Spark superchip. Every tech YouTuber on the planet is filming the same video about specs and benchmarks and flops. Everyone is staring at the chip. Almost nobody is asking what the chip is trying to say. Let me show you what I mean. RTX Spark is not a chip. I know, the box has a chip in it. 92 trillion operations per second, 256 gigabytes of unified memory, Blackwell architecture, real-time ray tracing, generative AI on device. The specs are real and the specs are impressive. But specs are not the message. The message is hidden in plain sight, and you can see it most clearly on Hacker News and X, where the community has already split into 2 camps. Camp A is excited about the raw power. Camp B is quieter, and what Camp B is saying is more important. Camp B is saying, wait a minute, Nvidia is trying to move artificial intelligence off the cloud and onto your desk. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. For the last 15 years, the paradigm of personal computing has been this. You, then internet, then cloud, then AI, then a response back to you. Every prompt you type travels thousands of kilometers, gets billed in tokens, and returns as text. RTX Spark suggests a different paradigm. You, then AI, then response. No cloud. No internet round trip. No subscription. No latency. And no third party in the middle reading your prompts. That is a philosophical shift, not just a hardware launch. And once you understand that the chip is just the delivery mechanism for the shift, everything about the Computex keynote starts to make a different kind of sense. So let us talk about the war everyone thinks is happening, because I think they have the wrong war. Every tech channel is filming the same video right now. RTX Spark versus MacBook Pro M for maximum 92 teraflops versus 38. 256 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth versus 128. The verdict, every time, is that Nvidia just won. But that is not the interesting fight. The interesting fight is, are Apple and Nvidia even building the same future? And the honest answer is no, they are not. Apple's vision of the personal computer is privacy first, integration first, closed ecosystem. Your MacBook is a quiet, beautiful object that respects you. The intelligence Apple ships you is curated, on device, modest in scale, and intentionally limited. Nvidia's vision is the opposite. Nvidia wants AI everywhere. Autonomous agents. Massive local compute. The laptop is a platform for unbounded intelligence, not a polite assistant. These are 2 completely different theories of what a personal computer is even supposed to be in the year 2030. And both companies are right that the old answer is dead. They just disagree about the new answer. Let me give you a short historical frame for this, because I think it matters. In the 1980s, the PC was personal. It was yours, it lived on your desk, it computed your stuff. In the 2000s, the PC became a window into the internet. The interesting things were online, the computer was just a viewport. In the 2020s, the PC became a window into the cloud. Your software runs on someone else's machine, your data lives on someone else's machine, your AI lives on someone else's machine. Maybe in the 2030s the PC becomes personal again, but for the first time in history, with an intelligence living inside it. That is the through line Nvidia is betting on. And that is what nobody on YouTube is talking about yet. Now I want to talk about the part everyone is missing. Today the entire conversation is about benchmarks. 92 teraflops. 256 gigabytes per second. 1 petaflop of AI performance. Numbers. But the real question is not how fast the chip is. The real question is, what happens when every laptop has an agent? Picture this. Outlook is not managed by you anymore, it is managed by an agent that drafts your replies and triages your inbox. Your browser is not open tab by tab, an agent opens what you need when you need it. Your CRM is not a thing you log into, it is a thing an agent updates while you sleep. Your accounting is not a spreadsheet, it is a process that runs continuously in the background. We are not buying computers anymore. We are buying digital collaborators. And the chip is the salary. This brings us to the most interesting discussion happening on X right now, and it is not about ChatGPT, it is about agents. The question people keep asking is, when do we stop using applications? Today you open Excel, you open Chrome, you open Outlook, you switch between them, you copy-paste between them. Tomorrow you say, prepare the quarterly report for the board, and the agent opens everything itself, pulls the numbers, drafts the slides, schedules the meeting. The interface becomes language. The interface becomes you, just talking. For 40 years we learned programming languages, software interfaces, keyboard shortcuts, menu structures. Maybe the next interface is the one we already knew before we ever touched a computer. Natural language. We will not use the computer anymore. We will speak to it. And this is the part where I think Jensen Huang showed us something more important than a chip, even though we were all looking at the chip. Jensen now gets treated like a rock star. He walks on stage, he holds up a small piece of silicon, the crowd films him with phones. Why? Why is a chip CEO getting Taylor Swift-level attention? The answer is that a lot of people in the audience already see Nvidia as something larger than a hardware company. They see Nvidia as the company quietly building the operating system of the AI era. Not Windows. Not macOS. The AI itself becomes the operating system. Watching the keynote, I had the very specific feeling that Nvidia is not selling silicon anymore. Nvidia is selling a vision of what the next 10 years of computing look like, and the chip is just the receipt. Now I want to be honest with you about the other side of this conversation, because it is also happening online. On Reddit and on Hacker News, two fears keep coming up. Fear number 1. AI agents are going to replace a large part of cognitive work. Not the bad part, the good part. Not just spam filtering, but drafting, analysis, judgment. The work that used to define a knowledge job. Fear number 2, the quieter fear, is that we are delegating too much. If an agent reads your email, books your appointments, writes your documents, makes small decisions for you all day long, at what point do you stop training the muscle? At what point does your brain stop being the thing in charge of your own attention? I do not have a clean answer to that. I want to share a small reflection. When GPS arrived, we stopped memorizing roads. When Google arrived, we stopped memorizing facts. When the agents arrive, what will we stop doing? Because every time we delegate a cognitive task, we get something back, and we give something up, and the trade is not always visible in the moment. Now let me give you the predictions I am willing to make, and I will keep them concrete. Prediction 1. Within 3 years, every premium laptop sold worldwide will ship with a resident AI agent. Not an optional add-on. Default. Prediction 2. A meaningful percentage of the models you use every day will run locally, not in the cloud, because the latency, privacy, and cost math will finally favor local for most tasks. Prediction 3. This is the one I think YouTube is not ready for. The way we shop for laptops is going to change. We will not compare gigahertz anymore. We will compare how many tokens per second the laptop can generate, how many parallel agents it can run, how much AI memory it has. Performance will be measured in cognitive throughput. Spec sheets will read like resumes. And that is not 3 years from now in some sci-fi sense, that is 3 Computex keynotes from now. So let me bring this in for a landing. Maybe RTX Spark will not be remembered as a new chip. Maybe RTX Spark will be remembered as the moment the computer stopped being a tool and started becoming a collaborator. The real question is not whether Nvidia is going to beat Apple. The real question is, are we ready, individually and as builders, to share our computer with an artificial intelligence that works next to us all day long? End of MacBooks, or beginning of AI computers? I genuinely do not know yet, but I know which direction I am betting. Tell me in the comments. Would you put a local AI agent on your laptop, or do you want everything to stay in the cloud where you can audit it? Sub if you want next week's video, where I am going to run a real local agent on a real laptop, on a real client workload, and tell you what actually breaks. See you in the next one.